Hey everybody, welcome to another Arkham Horror List video. Today we are excited to talk to you guys about the top 7 most brutal scenario card chaos token effects. Now you might be looking at this list and being like, what are you talking about? Well, it's the card that tells you what each colored symbol does. So what the skull does, what the cultist does, what the squid and the tablet do. We went through everything. We have figured out our top 7 from our 15 selected, and it's going to be a good time talking about how this game can screw you over. So let's dive in, starting with number 7, which is Undimensioned and Unseen. This is a scenario in the Dunwich Legacy where you are trying to stop the brood of Yog-Sothoths by throwing paint and dust on them and pretending like you're doing a good thing.
Yeah, you can also stick dogs on them.
You can stick dogs on them, it's true. So while we were making this list, one of the things that Travis would bring up is that how much can the card just screw you over suddenly, right? Like how much does it have the potential to just say, screw you, right? And like this one has that. The tablet is 0. You must either remove all clue tokens from a brood of Yog-Sothoth in play, or it becomes a -4. So the tablet is always a -4. Just don't remove clues off broods of Yog-Sothoth. It's not a good thing to do. So it's like sneaky. You look at it, you see a 0, and you're like, I have a chance. But no, you really don't. Now you might be saying, but Justin, I think you can only get a tablet in your Chaos Bag in Dunwich Legacy if the security guard or the museum administrator dies. Well, we're just talking about this like as if every chip was in the bag and you were playing like on standalone where all of that was in there. That's kind of how we looked at all of these. Does anyone have any additional comments about Undimensioned and Unseen?
Not really.
Yeah, I mean, you can only be attacked by a brood of Yog-Sothoth so many times before it just kills you.
Yeah. And you will be
it's not
attacking
actually
or
that
evading
many.
them a lot.
So,
yeah. All right. Let's hop on over to number 6, which is Where the Gods Dwell. It's nice having the squid token in all of these. That is a nice little piece of all those puzzles for all these ones. I believe for the skull that in this one, so this is the one where you're fighting Nyarlathotep in the Plateau of Lang or wherever you go. And it has, I believe, if you play to the full completion, 5 acts. So the skull becomes a -5, which is pretty brutal. Especially to the point when you're fighting Nyarlathotep himself is act 4 or 5. So, like, when you really want to not be failing tests, it's tough.
This is where Jim Culver shines.
Oh, baby. It also has Brins. He said when we were doing this, he said how much he hated it, but the revealing another token on the cultist mechanic. I don't like it either.
It feels fiddly.
It's just fiddly.
Yeah.
And you always do it. Like, you always draw a cultist. It's just like your thing.
Draw cultist, draw red token. Like, oh.
Yeah, another reason this one's so high on the list is because the tablet, can burn a lot of actions.
Could you imagine you get that in solo when it's already so hard to find Nyarlathotep?
Yeah, no, like you hit the cultist, reveal another token, reveal the tombstone, shuffle the Nyarlathotep back into your deck after getting attacked by it, but also put a doom on the agenda. Like,
yeah,
most of just lose.
Yeah,
Just lose like you're playing with 3 people, lose like 9, 10, 11, 12 actions ish.
Yeah, and it also just makes it one of those things that now, like, with the tablet, with the cultist, especially, like, when you're playing with, Travis said, like, 3 people, you want to make sure you can pass every test you do, otherwise you, like, have the potential to get an Ancient Evils that doesn't advance Doom out of the Chaos Cup, right? Like, that sucks.
Yeah.
Alright. Number 5. You'll notice that a lot of these are final boss battles as well. Like, that's just, it makes sense that the final scenarios would have the hardest Chaos token effects. Number 5, we got the Boundary Beyond. This is the one when you are fighting in present day and past day Mexico, and there is a third act that you don't expect, Justin, and you just die too early. That's what happens in this one.
Every time.
Every time.
Every time.
This one for me, it's kind of along the same lines of the Nyarlathotep one where the tablet, the -4, lose a lot of progress. The -4 on the squid, if you fail, which you probably will on -4, like because you're going to be investigating, usually up 3, you're like, I'm comfortable at 3, hopefully I don't draw the squid. And then you place a clue from the token pool in the nearest ancient location, which is already hard enough to turn things into ancient locations, and then it just like throws everything back. It could like cause you to lose a location that you needed to progress and get like your 1 point for this scenario.
Yep.
It's just a bully of a scenario card.
Mm-hmm. That it is.
Skull's pretty soft, though, which is nice. All right. Number 4, we got the Knight's Usurper with also Eternal Slumber. They are very similar cards in their design. I'll let you guys take this one because I've played this scenario 2 times each when we died on both of them. So I'll let you guys take them because you've played them a bit more. What makes this one so rough?
So the previous one has like very similar effects, but they're slightly easier. But the Strength of the Abyss carries over between the 2 of them. Oh, and if you're not very careful, then this one's like the second part. Yeah. Knight's Usurper is like nigh impossible. Like you show up to start playing it, and the game's like, yeah, you get to start with Strength of the Abyss is 5. Like start with 5 or with 3 -5 chits in the bag because of the skull. Like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And also on the Eternal Slumber, there's the squid is also, you could add a Strength of the Abyss to treat this as a success instead for the squid.
Just an auto fail.
Knowing that it becomes it carries over is even more mischievous in design.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like the tablet, we've got -1 for the skill test. You ignore all the bonuses to your skill value. It's just like, so you fail. Like, that's pretty much it. Like, did you have 5 walking in?
Because otherwise,
like base.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like you're probably not doing this,
dude.
Like the -4 is much less of a tease than it seems like because you're already trying to beat like a real beefy skull token.
Yeah.
So there is that.
I also like the kind of like the final slap in the face for the cultist token, where if you were doing good, you could just bork it.
Yeah, you could just not be.
Yeah. Dang, I'm excited to play this one again though, just to get my shit pushed in.
Just pick Jim.
Yeah. Let's go. I want to get my ass kicked. All right. Number 3, we got Lost in Time and Space. This is in the Dunwich Legacy when you are fighting against Yog-Sothoth in time and space.
Wow.
So the skull effect usually ends up being a -5. And as Travis just said on the last one, skull tokens at -5, having 3 of those in the bag is rough.
Yeah, it's usually like 2 or 3. Depends a little bit on the campaign, but like there's a lot.
Yeah. The Cultist has the reveal another token effect that we love so much, but also if you fail, you get shunted to a new location, which I believe hurts you.
Does damage to you. Yeah, it does horror to you if the game forces you to move.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sometimes you get lucky and you get a location you want to go to, but don't count on it.
The -3 is like Yog-Sothoth attacks you. Not even if he's at your location or like if you fail, he just beans you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to tank it.
You just pull the token out, look at it, and be like, well, guys. And then you just start to unravel.
Yeah.
And then the squid -X, where X is the value of the shroud value of your location. And if you fail and you're in an extra dimensional location, you discard it. This has lots of effects. So number 1, shroud are usually high on these locations, usually 3 to 5. I think there's one that's even like 7. I think the starting location. But it also, you can lose a location that you need to get to the edge of the universe from this, and then you also get to take damage for even thinking about doing a test there. Yogg-Sothoth is like, first off, how dare you?
You know, that one can be pretty messed up, especially since in the Return to, I believe, it'll just dump you to like the space where Yogg-Sothoth is.
And then he's like, hello, grab some punch.
Welcome to my part of the universe. You're like, no.
I don't want to be here.
Let me out.
Of note, I believe that once again in the campaign, I think you can only get squids in is if you take the Necronomicon, so.
Yeah, but when are you not going to do that?
Yeah, when are you not going to take the Necronomicon? Amen. All right, let's get to number 2, because we get to complain about... I always love to complain about this scenario. In the Clutches of Chaos, this is the one where you're playing Pandemic. I always have flashback because we stream our games, as you know, we record them, so we have to make it look good and easy to tell how many breaches are there, and just all of our locations covered in those stupid fucking pink dice, and I'm like, I am not having fun.
Well, we can use different colored dice
not
next
having
time.
a good time.
Yeah, but the only other color I have is yellow, and yellow doesn't read well. So what's this one? What's bad about this one? Why do we not like
this scenario sucks. The real answer is like... So, minus X is always going to be huge.
Always.
It's going to be like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Which is like especially bad for a scenario that's like halfway point-ish.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is scenario 5 or 6.
It's the
correctly.
penultimate, I believe.
No, it's the second last? Okay.
Yeah.
Then skip down to the tombstone. -2 for each point you fail by, remove 1 breach from the current act, because like why would you want to make progress?
Yeah, why would you?
Yeah.
And then the other 2 can just, if you get unlucky, they just blow the entire scenario open.
Especially the squid. Like, it just pops you to hell.
Yeah, like, it's like this entire scenario is a big power keg, and these 2 are just like some random idiot setting off fireworks.
You're like, no, don't. Do you not see what's happening in Arkham? Put away your fireworks.
Why would you do this? And he's like, "Wee."
Because it's fine.
Yeah, that honestly, Travis, that is the perfect metaphor for that. Like,
Yeah.
God, I am not looking
It's
forward
not a
to
metaphor,
doing
it's an
this.
analogy.
I am not looking forward to doing this scenario.
God forbid that you're playing this scenario with Finn on your team, and he just so happens to draw a card from the Treachery deck somehow, and then find the tablet. And you're just like, okay, guys, so firstly, I'm almost dead. And secondly, you remember what we were trying to do? Yeah, let's start again.
Yeah.
Like,
And the number 1, let's see if you can guess it. Drum roll at home. Take a moment. Type in the comments what you think our number 1's going to be. Just go down there. Let us know what you think our number 1's going to be. Let's find out. It is Before the Black Throne, where you get to get punched by Azathoth himself.
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of an honor, actually, after the last scenario. Or at least this one has the decency of killing you fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, if you manage to succeed at the Clutches of Chaos, this is your reward.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the only thing this one has going for it is that the -2 doesn't say for each point you fail by, Azathoth attacks you. So, like, that's cool, I guess.
Like, yeah, that would be worse. Yep. But yeah, like, Skull's always huge, again. Not as bad as on the other side. The other side's, like, brutal. But this is quite often going to be it's always a -2. But later in the game, it can be 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
And also, if I remember correctly, Azathoth's doom doesn't go away between acts.
Accurate.
Agendas, sorry.
Yeah. And then Cultist summons a Cultist, which have Doom on them, which gets sucked off onto Azathoth, so you have to deal with them.
Yeah.
Tombstone take lots of damage.
Yeah, Azathoth punches you for 3 and 3.
And back to the cultists, you have to deal with them while also literally riding on a bike through space. So you can just get in a location and be like, well, that's Azathoth's now.
Yeah, but it's like a sheet bike where the front wheel isn't there and you got a pedal and like it's
Yeah,
grinding
you
against
can't
the
get
cement.
around. You can't.
Yeah.
There's 3 people on it.
And then lastly, there's the squid, which it's
Ancient evil stapled to an auto fail.
yeah, it's just rude. Like
Yeah.
it makes everything harder in all ways. I will say this. I think that this is like the Azathoth scenario is like the best version. Like it's just so good.
Oh.
I have such dread
Yeah.
going to this one because I'm like,
Man.
Azathoth's gonna kill me because I'm not gonna take his coin.
Yeah,
the
no, like
last,
this is for as hard as it is. I do look forward to playing this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unlike the one before this, where I don't want to play it because if I wanted to play Pandemic, I'd play Pandemic. Like, I just want to play the game that I sat down to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, my biggest issue with that one is
This
just
one's
like
actually like a lot of fun.
the immense amount of bookkeeping you have to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like you spend half the game just like turning dice over and trying to figure out how did I turn this one already.
Yeah. No, that one is going to be a nightmare
Oh, on
to do on
tabletop.
tabletop.
I'm gonna get us dice for it as well, just so we can.
That one might not be so bad because we can just like have like health markers and then type in the amounts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It might actually be easier than in person.
But anyway, those are our most brutal chaos token effects on scenario cards. If you have any list ideas, definitely shout them out. I know you might be like, but Justin, you say this every week and I haven't seen my list yet. We have a huge list of list videos to make. I promise we will get to them. So, thanks for watching. Have a good one. And as always, GG's.